Hello, everyone. My name is Corey Shields. I'm a digital marketing associate and subject matter expert at Ntiva. And today we're going to cover three different cloud collaboration platforms from Dropbox, Google, and Microsoft. And we'll see how each one differs from the other, and you can find the subjective pros and cons from each for your business. So let's start here with Dropbox. And this is Dropbox Business. These accounts are $20 each. And this is a brand new account we created just for the webinar. You can see you're greeted by three pretty easy steps. Just set up Dropbox. All you need is their email address to invite them in. And then each user can download Dropbox for their own local machine. And that way they can easily upload and download files from their machine or from their phone or tablet, anything like that. It makes it a lot easier to get your files no matter where you're at. And over here, you can see there's a files section, and each user will have their own personal folder here. And this sample folder, this would be like a group location, basically. Anyone in the company could access it. You could all share it. And you can also add in different folders that maybe only certain people have access to. The admin structure inside Dropbox Business is great. It's easy to follow. Anyone can do it. And like I say, you can specify who you want to see a specific folder, or even all the way down to files inside the folders. It's completely customizable and it's really useful. There's also a location here for deleted files just in case you mess up. And you can also request, which I really like that feature. I use this with my family sometimes, just for personal use, not necessarily the business accounts. But the file requests are really nice because you can say, I need to access this file, and it will ping the person who owns it to give you permission, which is really nice. Especially in a business situation, if there's a file you need access to and your boss has it, it'll just send them an email to let them know. So really useful feature there. We also have Showcase, which is basically, think of it as presenting a PowerPoint slideshow kind of thing. You can go in there and it'll give you a nice full screen presentation, hook it up in the conference room and show off your work. And this admin console, let's look at this. Cannot say enough about how easy this is inside of Dropbox. You can go by name, email, anything like that. You can see who has access to what. You can see how much space they're taking up. And also this two-step verification. We've talked about this a lot at Ntiva. It's in our blogs and things like that, and we have security offerings like this. You need to have two-step verification. Any kind of multi-factor authentication is just a necessity at this point these days, just to keep your data safe. But you can go over here and see this gear. You can force them to reset their password. You can also view the activity reports, show what they've been working on, how long they've been in them, things like that. So there's a lot of details you can get into there, and you can of course export it and send it for reports or anything like that. You can add licenses. Like I said, these are $20 a piece at this level. So you can add licenses here. You can see who's been disabled and suspended. You've got full admin control with Dropbox Business, which is great. Let's go over here to Paper. This is the newest feature of Dropbox Business. It was in beta for a long time, and it's awesome. And it is over here. I've opened the welcome document, actually. I was going to create a document, but honestly, this getting started is really useful, and it has just about one of everything in it. So might as well break theirs, I guess. So this is Dropbox Paper. It is their internal document editor. This way you don't have to leave Dropbox to fix a document. And you can see it's mainly text up here. If you look at the top, you can see If there are other people in here, you'll see their logos, their headshots, whatever photo they have added. You can invite them directly from the document. You can send a link. You can, again, use the showcase feature to present directly from paper. And there's things like stars, so you can mark them at the top of your folders, things like that. You can customize the sharing settings from here. All kinds of useful features, especially the export. If you're creating a PDF or a Word document and you need to export it to someone who's not using Dropbox Paper, or if you need to edit it further, which we'll get to that in a little bit, you can export to a .doc file, to a PPT file for PowerPoint. You can do a PDF, anything like that. So it's all right there accessible from the taskbar. And of course, you can search for the documents and things like that, show notifications. And that's actually, that'll lead to an interesting point in here. The to-dos. This is really, really neat. Imagine anytime you collaborate on a Word document, you always have comments and things like that that you mark in the corners. And I personally am very familiar with them, with having an editor and things like that. You can do it right here in paper. You can create the new comment. It's a piece of cake. You can add emojis and things like that just to ease the pain of commenting on someone's document in a negative fashion. And that's really easy. And adding things like these fun little icons, things like that, it's a piece of cake. And you can see they've created to-do lists and things like that. You can literally check these off. And also, if you highlight it, you can set a due date and you can assign people. That's a really useful feature to have built right in just to a to-do list. This doesn't, when you add them to it, they don't get a notification that says you've been added to a document, and click inside to see. It will tell them specifically, you've been added in this to-do list, in this line. It's really, really useful when you need something specific done and you need it done by a certain date. And you can see here there's a paste to Dropbox link. You can directly add a file inside the document. This is not a basic text document. You can add anything in here. And you can see this, here's this cover feature inspiration here that they're using as part of a presentation. You can use these squares to customize graphics, things like that. And again, all of the usual features of adding lists and adding people, commenting, it all works seamlessly. And of course, there's the emojis. Again, just ease the pain of commenting on someone's documents. And so here you've got very basic photo editing that you can do with the image toolbar. And there are actually GIFs down here as well that you can set these to automatically play and things like that. You can customize fully. And this is really neat too. If you just put these in here, I really love this, they'll organize automatically. So if you move those around, if you put another GIF in there, it would align everything perfectly. And you can add, of course, the little italic underneath. And this is really, this is a Word document editor on steroids, really, in my mind. You can add directly from third-party apps. They've got YouTube, Pinterest, Trello, Dropbox, things like that. You can literally embed videos right in here. You can see they've got YouTube, they've got SoundCloud. You can add Dropbox files and Spotify, playlists, things like that directly in the document. It's really, really neat. Like I said, it's like, think of a Word document editor on steroids. You can literally code in any feature you want to customize. You can add that right there in the document. And of course, tables, all that, super easy to do. But here's the really important part that I want to get to with Dropbox. You can collaborate inside Dropbox Paper in real time. You can sit there with someone else. You can see their mouse, the same as yours, and you can see what they're doing. So you work things out. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, and that's awesome, especially for someone like me, because I live about 400 miles away from Ntiva headquarters. So, and I have to work with my boss every day on different projects and things like that, so we can collaborate uh, in the cloud, which is really, really, really useful. I wouldn't have the job that I do without cloud collaboration platforms like this. So with Dropbox Paper, you can edit anything inside Dropbox Paper. Importing documents in here, it doesn't really work. The point of Dropbox is to store your files securely and make them readily accessible for anyone in your company or even outside your company. If you specify, you can share to anyone, even if they don't have Dropbox, you can share the link to your document straight to their email address. So the point of Dropbox is really to hold your files and keep them secure. Dropbox Paper is their first iteration of editing a document inside Dropbox itself, which is really cool, but it does have its limitations. If you import an Excel file, you're going to have to download it locally and edit it inside of Excel or whatever program you choose, and then upload it again, which is a bit of a pain, especially compared to the other options we're going to take a look at today. But in terms of storage, Dropbox is just as secure as the other options, if not more secure. So definitely something worth looking at. And especially if you're a brand new business with very limited files, things like that, and you're going to do things like make a lot of flyers, make a lot of PDFs, things like that, Dropbox and Dropbox Paper, it might be worth looking into. So here I've got this group. I'll move myself. You can see I've made a slide here, just the pros and cons real quick. It's $20 per user per month for the advanced account, which you do need if you want those administrative features that, again, you'll see in the later options are prominent. And if you're running any kind of business folder structure, you need to have administrative control of what your employees can and can't see. So the pros, if you have more than 3 users, you get unlimited space. I believe they limit you to 3 terabytes if you have less than 3 users. And you have the tiered administrative accounts. You can have a top of the chain admin who can do anything. And then below that, you can set sub administrators that can do certain things with certain files. So, and you also have file event tracking, which is useful to see what's been done, to maybe go back to previous revisions of a document and go from there if you need to. And the cons, I only have one, but like I said, it's a big one. The real-time collaboration is only possible on documents created in paper, which is a bit of a letdown because most of an established business's work will be in things like Excel, things like PowerPoint, things like Word. If you're creating fresh documents, go right ahead. Dropbox Paper is a really cool editor that does a lot of things that Microsoft Word or Google Docs can't. So if you're a brand new business just starting out, Dropbox Business is definitely worth looking at. So now let's go to option 2, which is G Suite. And the entire Google suite really, especially when you compare it with a thing like Dropbox, it's pretty astounding what you get for the price. And they're not kidding when they say everything you need in one package. Even on the lowest accounts, you have your Gmail, you have your calendar that you can share, you have video chats, all of that. But as you move up to the higher accounts, you'll see this is a one-stop shop. This is meant to be a one-stop shop to keep you from using any Microsoft products or anything like that. The entire Google suite is meant to be your home for your business. if you sign up for it. Now you've got Gmail, you've got your calendar, you've got all of your video hangouts, which I believe is up to something crazy like 400 people. You have your personal Google Drive, you have the same kind of file structure that I showed in Dropbox Business, which is you can have administrative control of folders, you can share them across the business, you can specify certain users to have access. All of that and more is here. And more importantly, you have Google Docs and all of the equivalents of what you're used to with PowerPoint, Excel, all of that. It's all here. You've got docs, you've got sheets, forms, slides, sites. That's another thing. You can code websites directly from G Suite. If your business needs a website, you've got a little bit of expertise, or if you've got someone on your staff who has the expertise, use Google Sites and you can build your site. You can also make apps directly in the G Suite, mobile apps for your phone, for your business. It's really neat, the things they have in here. But all of your basic Office software is right here. It's just Google's version of it, which again, that can lead to some interesting problems, but we'll get to that later as well. So you have all of this, unlimited storage, things like that. Even the basic storage is 30 gigabytes. There's a lot to see in here, and the pricing, it's pretty fair, honestly. The business accounts that are $12 per user per month, this is what they recommend, but this doesn't have the administrative level of control that even Dropbox Business does. And you'll notice they match everything until the bottom here. You can add in the multi-factor authentication and their support, things like that, but you only have the bare minimum control of saying you can access this and you can't access this with the business accounts. The enterprise account is where you would have full and complete control of every file. You can see who's working on what, how long they've been in there. You can see all the past revisions, things like that. If you want full control, you'd go with enterprise. If you're looking to save where you can and still have access to Google Docs and be able to modify documents, you might be able to get by with a business account. This is where the subjective thing comes in. Only you know what you actually need. And if you don't need the administrative access, the business account may be best for you. So you can see unlimited cloud storage for more than 5 users, things like that. You can easily share all of your calendar info with whoever you want. The video conferencing is easy. There's a built-in messaging system. And you've also got, of course, Gmail with that unlimited storage and all of the documents to edit everything. That's really the key to what G Suite is trying to offer. This is a one-stop shop. Your email is here, your video chats are here, all of your documents, you can edit them directly from Google. They're trying to build a one-stop shop for you. And I've actually got a document open over here that this is my own personal Google Drive. This is not a part of Ntiva. This is my own personal Gmail address and our documents here. Now, this is a file that my boss and I share to schedule out our webinars and things like that. There's a preview for the future if you'd like. And you can see there's a pretty standard layout. This looks like Excel, in my opinion. This does enough. The editor does enough to give you your basic access and editing abilities inside here. And you can do formulas and things like that. The Excel masters out there, which I am most certainly not one, but the Excel masters out there that have formulas, that long text strings, things like that, you're going to hit a wall eventually with this, and you're going to miss that from Excel. And you'll run into that with each piece. I've found that in Word, there are certain things you can't do, and there are fonts that Google doesn't have that Microsoft does. There are just little annoyances that if you've already established your business inside something like Microsoft and the Microsoft Office suite, you may find yourself running into walls, which again, $25 or even $12 a month, that gets frustrating after a while, especially if you have to add in the cost of buying Microsoft Office just to be able to edit your documents. So here you can see there's comments, just like every other Microsoft and Dropbox thing you've seen. You can track the comments, you can mark them as resolved. And actually, this is really interesting. Kristen is not on our team. As you can see, she's with Penguin Strategies. And all I did was tag her in there by adding an @ symbol with her email address. She received a notification that I tagged her in something. She was able to come into the document, edit it, because I allowed her, which is really awesome. It's easy to do any kind of editing work with anyone outside of your organization is a piece of cake. All you have to do is add their email address. And you can easily share there. And again, there's me, but if anyone else was in here, I could see them, and I could see them editing. My boss and I do this quite a bit. I can see her in here editing text in real time, which is just, again, part of the cloud collaboration. It's incredible, the opportunities that are available for both employers and employees in different locations around the world. You're only limited by your internet connection at this point. So, and you can add in add-ons, things to integrate different Hootsuite, things like that. Any social media, if you want to be able to upload a document that you're working on straight into Facebook or something like that, you can do it. In the tools, again, there's all your macros and things like that, all the complicated Excel things that I don't particularly like, but it's all here, and you can access your different tabs and things like that. This is a massive document that we've been working on for quite a while, but this feels like Excel, like a diet almost, a diet version of Excel inside a browser. So very cool, and you're able to get just about all of your work done inside of your browser. And especially, again, just like Dropbox Business, if you don't have anything for your business, if you're a brand new business with a few users, you can pick where you want to start. And that's a really, really nice feature. So if you look, let's go over here. You can import, you can download the file, which this is where I wanted to get to. It's almost like an export. You can export to any kind of file extension that you can think of, basically. You can, and if you're in a Word document, it'll offer to download as a .doc file and things like that. Open document for the OpenOffice users out there, which I was one for quite some time. It's a good free alternative to the local installations of Microsoft Office. But again, a lot of limitations, and eventually you just get frustrated. So you can go to a PDF, things like that, CSV files. The exports for if you need more than what you have with G Suite, they're very easy to do, and you can import them right back in fairly easily. So a lot more collaboration inside of G Suite. They want to be your all-in-one place. They want you to be able to click on someone's name, video chat them, and work together inside one browser, which is very, very useful. And it's quite the collaborative step up from Dropbox Business, where you're limited by paper. And again, just a quick summary. $25 per user per month for the enterprise accounts, which again, that is full-on security and administrative management, which larger businesses will most certainly need to control the entire organization, but that's subjective and up to you. Unlimited space for 5 or more users with G Suite instead of the 3 with Dropbox. And again, they limit you to, I believe, 30 gigabytes if you have less than that. So you got the full suite of productivity software. You can edit anything inside there without leaving your browser. Real structured administration of your entire business. And that it just gets into the nitty-gritty details. Just like I said, by file, you can edit who has access, and you can see the revisions and how long they accessed it. If you're concerned about productivity or anything like that, G Suite Enterprise accounts, they're a good place to look. And of course, the fully integrated collaboration and video chat, which again, the Google Hangouts with, I believe, up to 400 people. It's unreal. You can get your entire team together on video, and you can present documents, you can edit them, you can brainstorm. Really nice feature. The cons, limitations, they are there. You'll hit them eventually, especially if you're an expert in Word or Excel, things like that. You will eventually hit a wall. But for anyone who's just doing basic document editing, like that Excel sheet that I showed, you'll be fine. The only problem then leads into the next con, which it can be a little problematic to work with people who are still using Microsoft Office. Your options are basically to share the document with them through a link so that they can access your Google Drive and they can edit it in the web portal. Or if you need more than the web portal will offer, to export the file, send them the Excel file, and have them edit it and send it back to you, which is kind of a pain. But that leads us to our last option, which is actually where my PowerPoint is. Office 365 and OneDrive. This is my real Office 365 login. This is what I see when I log in every day. And you can see, again, it's just like G Suite, your entire business can sit inside of one window. I've got Outlook, I've got OneDrive, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, SharePoint, Teams, all of these things. And even if I'd like to, I can install the local versions right here. You get 5 installations per license. So I could install all of this software on up to 5 computers. Or if I want to, I can just leave them in the cloud, which is really nice if you're at a hotel, on a friend's computer, things like that. If you just need to do something really quick, you can pull them up inside your browser, which is a really great feature. Let's go over here to my OneDrive. There's a lot in here, so it takes a second to load. But you can see everything I've worked on here, and there are folders. And again, you can limit access by folder, by file, just like the others before that we covered before. You can do that yourself with your own personal files, or for the larger company folders, things like that. The administrative roles are top-notch. You can control everything. You can see the revisions and things like that from G Suite. You can do just about everything for your business inside of Office 365. And you can see all of my Word documents, things like that. This very PowerPoint is saved right here. This is really where I store my files, and especially the drafts. Now at Ntiva, we have secure servers where we store the final copies of anything I do, things like that. But as I'm working on them, I can keep them here, and I can pull them up on my phone even. I have OneDrive installed on my phone, so I can pull up any of these files at any time and access them, edit them, literally anywhere in the world. And again, you can control your own settings of your own files, or you can also have administrative control of the overall group shared folders. So let's take a look at a Word document. So again, this is stored in my OneDrive. This is inside the browser. This is not a local installation of Microsoft Word. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm on a Mac as well. I did this on purpose to show that this can be done on any machine. I am in a web browser. I am in Safari right now, as you can see. This is not Microsoft Word. I do not have this installed on my local machine. You can do all of this inside the browser. And actually, if you look at the top, again, the limitations of browsers, just like G Suite, there are certain things you just can't do inside a browser. You need the local installation of Word, of Excel, things like that. G Suite only has the software that Google owns. With Office 365, with your license, you get the local downloads as well with your license. So I can hit that open in Word, and if I had Word installed on this machine, it would open automatically in there and allow me to continue editing from the exact same spot. This is true cloud collaboration software. My boss and I can sit in here and we can invite people in to look at the document with us. We can edit it in real time. No need to open the document, leave a comment, close the document, upload it again. It can all happen from one portal, no matter where you are, which is just incredibly useful. And compared to even a few years ago, the leaps of cloud collaboration are really incredible. Everything you know about Word and Excel, PowerPoint, all of that is here. And the web portal is certainly enough for anything of basic editing. It's all here, and it's all saved in one location. You get the auto recover, things like that. It's a pretty thoughtless, user-friendly interface. It takes care of everything for you in the background as you work. And just like G Suite has the video hangouts, things like that, Microsoft has Teams, which we'll be featuring in a later webinar. The depth of that software specifically, because it is so special, it honestly does deserve its own webinar. But just know that everything you're working on, you can chat about it, you can do video conferencing, you can do audio calls, you can just do text-based messenger. It just helps get everyone in your business on the same page all the time. Everyone logs into their Office portal. Everyone works from their Office portal. Everyone communicates from their Office portal with software they already know. There's zero learning curve to all of this. Office 365, in my opinion, is what G Suite and eventually Dropbox Business want to replicate. They're trying to steal this idea of the Office 365 portal. But they can't touch it because everyone is already used to Microsoft Office products. So, as I said on the other two, if you're a brand new business and you don't have any files saved anywhere, it's your choice. You can start fresh anywhere. But if you're an established business, if you're a larger organization, you're going to want the familiarity of Office 365. And not to mention the ability to upload all of the files you already have, every Word document, Excel file, anything like that, you can upload them directly into OneDrive, and you can have your administrator take care of the file structure and put them in the folders and things like that for you. So Office 365 has it all: your email, all of your document editing abilities, your ability to communicate with each other in real time, work together anywhere in the world. Office 365 is a special piece of software. And as you can see, this is in a web browser as well. I'm hosting my PowerPoint presentation inside of my browser. I don't have PowerPoint installed on my Mac. and it's working seamlessly. So let's go through the details with Office 365 and OneDrive storage. $20 per user per month for the E3 and Ntiva licensing. E3 licensing gets you all of the software that you saw and Microsoft support, things like that. So every bit of software you need is included in the E3 licensing. And the pros, unlimited storage, all the Office software with cloud capabilities and local installs on up to 5 machines. So if you need to do the offline editing, no big deal, you can do it on up to 5 computers just through one login. Real-time collaboration in all of the products. You can have PowerPoint open, you can have Word open, anything, edit them together in real time with anyone in your organization. And the browser-based access to all Office software from any connected browser. Anywhere in the world, any time of day, it's all there, it's all backed up, it's all ready and waiting for you with software you already know, just in a web portal instead of sitting on your desktop. The cons. This is an interesting point because Office 365 is the giant compared to the other two. G Suite can get very complicated very fast, but Office 365 is usually part of larger organizations, and it can be a bit tedious to manage. If you're a group of 3, 4, 5 people, you just give each other access, and typically in small companies like that, there's a lot of trust involved in security and things like that. But if your organization is 20 plus people, you're going to want someone dedicated to take care of file structure and file security for you all the time. Because if not, you're going to end up with a few employees that are trying to multitask and do multiple jobs, and you're going to end up with holes in your security and very, very frustrated internal employees. I know I spent 8 years on the help desk. My degree is actually in network security. If you try to trust someone to multitask with your business security, you're making a grave mistake. So that's where we lead to Ntiva and an IT service provider or a managed service provider, MSP. A provider like Ntiva will give you 24/7 support. We have over 100 employees. They're all ready and waiting to help. Every day of the year, no matter the time, we work for you. And it provides easy scalability for your G Suite or Office 365 licensing. Each time you get a new employee, you have to set all this up for them. You have to set up their file structure. You have to set up their administrative access. And that's all time consuming. And it takes away from the work you should be doing. And a provider like Ntiva can take care of that for you. Gives you the ability to focus on your work, do what you do, and not worry about whether or not you gave the secretary access to the bank routing number that she wasn't supposed to have. And peace of mind, just sleep easier. This is a lot to manage. The user interface on all 3 of these options is great. It's seamless. It's almost foolproof, honestly. But behind the scenes, it's not. It's hard to set up. It's constant work to maintain. Even in the simplest forms of Dropbox, it's still time consuming to get one user access to specific files and folders. Adding new employees is problematic. So if you're struggling, or if you're a larger organization and you have an IT guy and he just keeps coming to you and talking about how he needs help, how he doesn't have time, how your employees complain about the broken printer down the hall because he doesn't have time to get to it, an MSP might be the solution for you and your business. So I want to thank you for spending some time with me and my strange little bubble floating across the screen. And if you have any questions about this process, or if you want to know more about Dropbox Business, G Suite, any of the Office 365 products, just give us a call. We're always here 24/7, 365. Thank you guys very much for watching.